And with that, you want to go to the board? Do this thing?
Hit him, Jim. Hit him.
The board is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. All the lines, even when they're infuriating, are brought to you by FanDuel as of Thursday. I say that, Mike, because a lot of these unders that I liked, 2-3 points come crashing down over 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough week.
Well, let's start out Friday, 7 o'clock. New Mexico State, which, by the way, it could be the best coaching job in America. Jerry Kill got New Mexico State to 10 wins.
Rolling.
Do you know the last time New Mexico State won 10 games?
Is it never?
Eisenhower was in office.
Oh, okay.
New Mexico State taking on Liberty Bibberty, and this is fascinating.
Yeah.
Liberty, Jamie Chadwell, laying 10.5. Now, this opened at 14.
It's come crashing down.
Everyone is on New Mexico State.
Correct.
Now, you have a battle of two really fun quarterbacks here.
Mobile, dangerous.
Diego Pavia versus Caden Salter. Salter started his career at Tennessee. I think he got kicked out for weed. It wasn't a transfer. And Diego Pavia, the first time I watched this kid play was opening week last year.
Terrible.
He looked like the worst quarterback.
Remember, their program was like shut down and then revived.
These two, and they do it in different ways. Pavia is built like a fire hydrant, and he'll give you a 50-yard scramble, chuck and duck. I mean, it's crazy. When you look at this, though, I didn't have a great read. Now, I've watched both teams, and Liberty's defense is a bit of fool's gold. This is where I start the cap.
Fair.
It's fool's gold in that the numbers look sweet, but then you get into explosives. And within the numbers looking okay, they give up 60-yard touchdowns. So when I combine it with someone like Pavia, who lives on the explosive, how comfortable am I getting involved, laying double-digit points? What I would say to you is if this number gets to 10 or 9.5, I actually flip towards betting Liberty.
It's never going to get there.
All righty, then I'd like to suggest to you, because here's what I did. I wasn't going to show up with no opinion. I wasn't just going to flail my arms in the air. Could I interest you in over 56?
It's one of the few games where the total's going the other way. It was 54, now it's 56.
56 is going to land
totally
you
doable
in a spot where if this is a 35-24 game, we're home. I don't know that either defense is going to handle what either offense is going to do. And the Liberty defense, remember, it can look pretty and then bam, touchdown, bam, touchdown. I go back and I know it's one game sample size. It was their game against Middle Tennessee State defined. Explosive, 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 punt, 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 explosive, punt, punt, explosive, punt, punt. Like, I think the over's the move if I were going to dive in on this, which I'm probably not because the Oregon game's that night.
How much do you put into the first meeting? Like just with any of these games? Because some of these teams are playing for the second time.
It was a good game for a while. I actually look back at this. It was tied.
New Mexico State had the lead, and then Liberty goes 20-0 into the second quarter to the second half.
Yeah.
They blew them out at the end. It was ugly late.
Look, if you're, all right, lean, Liberty, lean. Okay, here's one. Do you think there is any universe Liberty loses this game?
Sure, I do.
Shit. It's not the answer I wanted.
Okay.
I was trying to think about doing a Big G money line championship weekend. Like, I don't want to lay the 10.5. Now, we could do, and I'll do this later because I'm going to be in the city this weekend. I'm going to New York for the show. I could do the breadbasket parlay, a.k.a. your cell phone is balancing off a breadbasket at dinner. We could buy Liberty to 9.5, but my whole point was if I put Liberty money line with Oregon money line with Texas money line, who's losing?
Right.
Toledo money line.
So the only fear I have, New Mexico State's playing a lot better since the first meeting.
Yes.
Kill has done a masterful coaching job.
Coach of the year.
And is there a scenario where they win the game? Yeah, absolutely.
Man, if you look at this is fascinating. I can get you plus 130 money line. Liberty, Oregon, Texas, Toledo. Now, again, you guys are going to go, yeah, but you guys hate favorites, and that's dumb. Championship weekend, I treat a little bit like Thanksgiving Day. I did this while you were gone. Thanksgiving Day, favorites rule the day. You get to championship weekend, Cinderella's Uber usually arrives. It is very difficult for some of these big dogs because the goods are awaiting you. And I just, look, Liberty with Salter, the way they run that offense, They got that wide receiver, number 82, the little short kid. They run him on jet sweeps.
So why don't you do what I'm going to do with this?
Let me hear it.
I'm going to bet Liberty.
You're going to lay to 10.5.
I am. I think there's some, what? Value.
He's really excited, people.
This should be a 14-point game, which is what SP Plus says, and it's also what the line initially was. But everybody loves the story that is New Mexico State. Hell, I love the story. Have you heard their fight song? It's about like getting drunk and
what?
Yeah, they reference kegs and stumbling and wobbling.
What?
Everybody loves them. But it doesn't change the fact that Liberty blows people out. They score 40 points a game. They've only played 2 of them decided by single digits. I think you play Liberty. They are a turnover machine. That's the other thing, Mike. You say their defense doesn't get enough quality stops. Turnovers are their answer to that. They wear like the Joker mask. Have you seen this?
Yes, yeah. I have. It's absolutely terrifying.
It's horrifying. So Joker mask, run the ball, put teams away.
Aggies, oh Aggies.
Yes.
The hills send back the cry, we're here to do or die. Aggies, oh Aggies. We'll win this game or know the reason why. And when we win this game, we'll buy a keg of booze and we'll drink it to the Aggies till we wobble in our shoes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Holy shit. And I'm immediately going to the team store. This is a remarkable moment on this podcast. Okay. And you want me to root against?
Well, no, I'm telling you because
their mascot is Tom Selleck. Look at Tom Selleck.
Yeah, it is Tom Selleck. The mustache. Everybody loves him. The public's betting him. The line has moved accordingly. I do think it's opened up a little bit of 3 or 4 point value for Liberty. They are the better team. They're the better team at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to force turnovers. It's tough to bank on turnovers, but they're the number 1 interception team in college football. I'm going to take Liberty laying 10.5.
Now, you do realize New Mexico State is a covering machine. You do realize this.
Yes.
They are UNLV South.
But we'll get to them later. Good things have to end at some point.
All right. Let's move it along. So Jim's gonna play Liberty.
Are you gonna touch the total or just lean?
I just thought the over would be the move if you were going to do it. I'm not afraid of the 56, but you didn't seem too hip to it.
So SP Plus says 54, which is what it opened at.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's been bet up a couple points. I still think it's the way to go.
I think you're convincing me Liberty is the move.
Yeah.
But what I may do is mix this into...
You can parlay it, buy it at a better number.
Well, yeah, I was going to say is lay the 9.5 and put it with Oregon money line and see where it lands me. But go ahead. I want to lab that out while you intro the next game.
Okay, the next game is the delivery of the week. It's top 5 matchup. It's Friday night, ABC. Delivery of the week brought to you by Hungry Howie's Flavor Crust Pizza, the official pizza of Cash the Ticket. Oregon laying 9.5. What? Against undefeated Washington that already beat them. Mike, it was 6.5 on the look ahead a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's been moved to nearly 10. I found a stat, and this is courtesy of Action Network, that you will love. Only twice, this is a rare occurrence, only twice since 2005 has an undefeated top 5 team been a dog of more than a touchdown in the conference title game. In both times, Vegas was right. That team got popped. That team didn't even cover the number.
Okay,
this is an Oregon heavy bet spot.
It is. Here's the thing.
However, is the value bet out of the number?
No, what do you do if you're me holding Oregon even money to win the Pac-12?
You could middle with Washington at 9.
I do not have any interest. I have said to you, I think Washington is fraudulent. It has been a month of this.
Vegas agrees.
These escapes, this nonsense. The 9.5 to me is indicative of the reality of this game, not when they played October 15th, but the game they're about to play. Oregon has evolved into a freight train on both sides of the ball. Washington, they don't stop the run. The middle of their O-line is terrible. Penix doesn't look the same. Look, oh, by the way, Liberty, if you wanted to get creative, now I'm not trying to get you off your 10.5, but could I interest you in something?
Mm-hmm.
Buy it to 9.5.
And then do Oregon 6.5?
Oregon money line.
Okay.
Plus 120.
Juiced?
I'm just now again.
No, this is why we talk about this stuff.
I'd feel
a lot better at Liberty 9.5, and there's no way you're ever going to get it unless you do it yourself.
But we got to do it ourselves.
That's right.
And listen, we're tinkering a little bit. But Jim, why lay 10.5 at minus 110 and get involved with laying the 9.5 here when you could take the 9.5 out and get the more preferential number? If your Liberty bet hits, I'm sorry, I do not believe Oregon's losing. I just do not believe it.
I don't either. In terms of betting it, though, if this is the only game you're going to play, you don't give a shit about Oregon. Conference USA.
It's Oregon in the under.
The under is 65.5. I like the under. Everybody likes the under. It's moved a little bit, but it's still a good number.
Yeah, I'm just giving you an angle on side and total. Look, if I'm not holding the ticket I'm holding, would I play? Yeah, I actually would like to play the 9.5.
You think it's just reckless to do, given you'd be double dipping at a.
If I win the game and they don't, all right. Here's the question. All right, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna be enjoying a little Christmas in the city this weekend.
Chew. Marshmallow World. That's your favorite Christmas song, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I get what you're saying. Yeah, 100%. Dean Martin's the GOAT.
See, I remember.
But worst case, I would push. They're not losing. But I want to get a little saucy.
Yeah.
Do I lay the 9.5?
I'm actually a little surprised that you're not more gung-ho. This read to me like, fuck Washington, bunch of frauds, Oregon's better.
They are.
But you're getting a little...
I'm trying to be responsible because I pulled the trigger on a ticket for 3 units, and it's like, I want to get my money. But then it's like, dude, if the spot's the spot and you're confident...
Vegas is telling you this is a blowout.
I have no interest in Washington at all. None. So, yeah, it's Oregon minus 9.5. I'll put it on the card, and you may get me to do the irresponsible. But do you like at all what I suggested to you about the Liberty money line
I do like that. I do like that.
All right. I'm going to put Oregon on the board. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I want to get saucy.
I wrote and I've since deleted it in our doc. I wrote pass because of the future, and then I deleted it. I was like, I don't want to be a little bitch. Let me just bet Oregon. And I'm happy that you've come to the same conclusion. It's fucking conference championship week.
Let's have some fun.
You take the Ducks, I'll take the Ducks. We believe in them. Let's double dip.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
All right. Now we get to Saturday. We're going to start with the Big 12 at noon. Number 7, Texas, laying 14.5 against number 18, Oklahoma State. The total's 54.5. It's in Dallas. Mike, this is a big mismatch.
I have a theory, and it's not related to anything I can prove. It's not related to numbers. It's not related to anything. I will tell you right here, right now, my feeling is Texas and over, which is seemingly the squarest goddamn thing you can do. But hear me out on this. We saw a different Texas last week. 57-7 over Tech when they were about 10-point favorites. What's going to be going on this weekend is conversation. It's going to be a ton of conversation. Now, remember, Florida State is the last game of the night.
8 o'clock.
The only spot that, in our opinion on this show, that is really available to be had is Florida State's spot.
Yes.
Michigan is in. They're not losing to Iowa. Georgia, Bama, I don't think it matters. If Georgia wins, they're in. Bama's out. If Bama wins, I think they both go. I do. Let's say you're right. Let's say Georgia's out. Texas knows they got to make a statement. I think part of it is what they did last week. Part of it is this is a complete mismatch. The only thing Oklahoma State does well is run the football. Ollie Gordon, you know the story. We've given you the stats. What do you not do against Texas?
Run the football. Number 1 in the Big 12, number 4 in America.
Then I got to factor in. I watched an Oklahoma State team need a miracle to beat Brigham Young, who's terrible.
Awful.
Watched it last week. This is not even remotely. Look, I will say this. I've said to you, I don't think Texas is a playoff team. Jonathan Brooks out for the year. That's a killer. But good Texas, you could make an argument that good Texas, when they're rolling, like they were that night in Tuscaloosa, they might be the best team in America. I'm just telling you, if they're motivated, if Sark has his head screwed on straight, Jim, I actually, not only do I have the matrix, there's part of me, I want to lean into this a little bit too. I'm not telling you it's responsible. I think Texas is going to put a hurting on this team.
100% agreement. I love Texas. It's maybe my second favorite play of the entire weekend.
Dude, we like back-to-back favorites. Who are we?
Listen, some of what you said is true. Style points, they're out. They need to get in. And, Mike, the matchup's there for them. Oklahoma State has faced the 3 worst offenses in the Big 12, Cincy, BYU, and Houston. Yet, they're 8th in scoring defense and 11th in total defense. Even with a little bit of a cake schedule, they're terrible on that side of the ball.
Yep.
So while, I think Texas holds Oklahoma State in check, they already settle for a ton of field goals, the most in the Big 12. If Texas, with a good matchup, wants to, needs to run up the score, they will. And I think the Brooks thing is a noteworthy injury for Texas, but I think they kind of have a stable. And if you remember, Brooks wasn't supposed to be the starter this season. No. They wanted, what's the other dude? Baxter, who's a freshman, a 5-star kid, to take the job. He's dinged up right now, but they've been using Blue, this other running back. They're going to run it. They're going to sling it. They're going to run up the score. I really like Texas. SP Plus says 16-point win. Yeah. My only fear was struggling to put people away, 4-4 against the number as double-digit favorites. But you talk about it a week ago and what's at stake. They're starting to realize they need to punish people. Oklahoma State has 3 losses. 2 of them, ugly losses. We touched on the one, South Alabama. Mm-hmm. The other one, it escapes me. Who did they lose to bad? Oh, Central Florida. It's like 45-3. So this team, to me, is incredibly mismatched.
Look at the quarterback mismatch. Alan Bowman versus Quinn Ewers. Yeah. Oof. Now, here's the deal. I don't have to do anything because I got that Texas Matrix ticket. But I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm going to get a taste on this one, I think. I'll go 1 or 2 units on it and just get a little taste, a little tasty twist.
Total and spread, or just okay?
just the side. Your conviction with the side is all I need. I don't need to get goofy on the total. I hate the fact I've opened this show liking some favorites, but it's how
you said it's the Thanksgiving.
It's how I feel.
Yeah. With Texas, quick question on the playoff.
Yeah.
If Bama beats Georgia, and we'll get to it a little later, but if Bama were to do that, doesn't Texas have to get in as a team that beat Bama? Like, if Bama's in, Texas is in. Aren't they kind of like tethered that way?
Didn't just win the head-to-head, but they won it on the road in Tuscaloosa.
Convincingly.
Then you got to factor in, I would have to look how many top 30 wins did each team have. Mm-hmm. You know, does Texas have...
Because Bama's got more than a few at this point.
And I think they both have 4 or 5. As long as those things are equal, I'm not...
Or close to equal, then the head-to-head to me, Mike, we get into these debates about who are the best teams, and everybody has their different criteria, eye test, strength of schedule. Head-to-head is the most pure definition of who the better team is. Texas beat Bama. If Bama's in, Texas is in.
Okay, noted. All right. What I'm rooting for, I just need Florida State to lose. I think America needs Florida State to lose.
Agree. We stay in the noon window, Group of 5, Mid-American Conference, ESPN, noon matchup in Detroit. It's Toledo laying 7.5 against Miami.
This is your conference. This is your game.
Miami defense is the key. Best in the MAC by a full touchdown ahead of second place. In conference play, 11 points better than Toledo on the defensive end. They limit explosives, and Toledo lives on them. Finn, half the QB away from home that he is when he gets to the road.
Jim, he stinks.
I know. So you tell me, the number has moved from 46.5 to 43.5.
Can't touch it.
But I still kind of like the under. Last year's MAC title game with a healthy Finn was 17-7.
Yeah, it's under or pass. I just get worried you're getting to a point where you drop below something like 44.
44 kills me because I love like a 24-20. And now the only way to win this is like a 21-17 kind of game.
That's what I mean.
And it gets a little dicier. It was 45.5 when I was prepping this out 24 hours ago. So there is steam moving this line lower and lower. But Miami is a little like Iowa. They're not going to score a lot. They're going to keep it low scoring.
They don't have their starting quarterback.
They don't. So to me, the under is the best way to play this game. I would not throw the points out there with Toledo. I would not lay 7.5 in a low scoring game.
All I'm looking to do with it is use Toledo as an anchor in a parlay. Toledo money line. We ain't doing no points, none of that business, and away we go. To me,
they are the better team. They should win the game. So that's the note. File them away, save them away, parlay cannon fodder.
Yeah, I'm not laying 7.5. Not. Finn is...
I know I shouldn't bet the under with the movement. I'm still going to do it.
I wouldn't take a bad number if I were you. I really don't want to see you take a bad number, buddy.
It's just going to kill me if this is like 20-7 or like 20-13. And I just sat out of it, knowing what kind of game it would be.
As we're labbing, can I offer you something?
Sure.
Potentially building the breadbasket wine bottle parlay. Liberty minus 9.5. Oregon minus 9.5. Texas minus 9.5. Toledo money line. Plus 511.
How does it lose?
No, it loses. Don't worry. But we're just specking. Yeah. I'm running parallel paths.
When there's only 10 games, you can start to look at things like that.
That's all. Carry on.
I'm gonna stick with the under. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take a bad number.
Shiver me timbers. All right, go 13-10 Costa. Let's make it happen.